Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Wildflower Wills YouTube channel. I'm Louise. It's Monday, which means it is cast on day. We're going to talk about the yarn that you were voting for. We'll talk about the yarn. We will talk about the project. And I have a finish to show you, as well as a few other projects that I have worked on from previous week's cast ons. And then we will talk about the sock knit along that is going on for the month of November. And we'll just see what else you all are working on. So I hope everybody has had a great start to your Monday. Putting up the poll for you guys to vote on is a great way for me to start my Monday. Hi, everybody. I see some knitters coming into the chat. So let's talk about the yarn you were voting for. Both of these yarns have been in my stash for a long time. A long time. Let's see, so I had posted both of these, and I had just called them left and right, and that's what you were voting for. So, as every Monday morning, I wake up and I think, "Okay, what will excite me? What excites me?" I kinda lie in bed and I think, "Do I wanna do a hat?" I was kinda thinking about a hat, and I'm like, I don't know. That's not exciting." And then I thought, "Will I do a cowl? Will I try mittens?" And then I thought, "No, don't get too crazy. I'm doing one fingerless pair of mitts. I need to, like, not just jump on the mitten bandwagon and cast on all the pairs because that will end in unfinished projects." So, then I just thought, "You know what? I just want to cast on another garter stitch boomerang shawl." That is truly what made me happy this morning. I thought, "That is what I want to knit." Because I truly, you guys know, every week I get on here and and you'll see my shawl here in a few minutes, and you'll know that I really, really, really do like knitting them. So I thought, it is also gift knitting time. Fiber Friends November challenge is gift knitting month. So I thought this could be a one skein shawl and it could be my project for the Fiber Friends challenge. So I went up here, I came up and I looked through my yarn stash, my sock yarn, and this is what I came up with. I just kind of randomly picked a shelf, picked a cubby, picked a bag of yarn, pulled it out, and these two were in there. And I thought, perfect. Two different color schemes, just kind of get a feel for what you guys are thinking. What was left? Left is the purple Regia. Can never go wrong with that. Hand-dyed effect. Aren't these colors lovely? Now, most of my yarn, I can remember where I bought it, why I bought it, and I'm not entirely sure about this one. I think I bought this and another skein of Regia in a contrasting color to maybe do a brioche shawl, cowl, something or other, but not entirely sure. But it is very, very pretty. I do know that I would not have bought it for a project for me because it's purple, and that's not something that I typically wear, but it is very, very pretty. So what does this say? So Regia hand dyed effects 100 grams, 420 meters. It is a 70% superwash, 25% polyamide, 5% acrylic. So is the acrylic, so if you look really, really close in there, okay, you can see that. See what there's like a navy thread going around the ply. Do you know what I mean? Can you see what I mean? I'm guessing that must be the acrylic. Where am I seeing it? Over here on the screen. Anyways, I'm guessing that must be the little bit of acrylic. Um, it feels really, really nice and soft. It would make a lovely shawl, I think, for people who don't typically wear wool. I mean, it's super wash. It feels really, really nice. Is there a colorway or anything on here? No, just a number. Looks like 210. I don't know if this is something that is still available or probably not. It's probably been in my stash long enough that the colorway has come and gone. Is there any other colors in there? There looks like there's a darker purple. So that looks really, really pretty. Um, oh, the thing that looks like a shadow. Is that how it's showing up on the screen? Um, okay. Um, Anyways, okay, I see everybody's chatting in the comments, which is great. So, anyways, this was the left colorway, which is gorgeous. And I think purples, like these shades, it's got little bits of kind of pinkies in there, some purples, some bluey grays. I think this would be a really nice gift net. And then we have this stuff. This I know came from Knit Stitch. This has been quite a few years ago. This is, she's moved her shop twice since from the location that I got this from. I do remember that. So it's been a while. And I have never knit from one of these. Okay, you guys are gonna have to help me out. What do you even call these? Like a tube, right? Like it's been cranked. And so what is this looks like the ends are tied here. And yeah, I don't really know too much about this. I just know somebody in the comments voted not for this. they went they went purple regia because they said this could be tricky. Excuse me. A yarn blank. That's the word I was looking for, Louise. Louise always comes to my rescue. A yarn blank. Um Anyway, so I don't know, has anybody knit from one of these? I have to say that when these were I was gonna say, like, when these were all popular back, what, like 10 years ago? Um, I don't know, I never really got into them the way a lot of people did. Have has anybody in the comments, have you knit from one before? And what is the whole idea? What should I do? So I see it's tied in a couple of places. Do I actually wind the blank into like a ball and then just pull an end and just knit and let it unravel? Do I have to unravel the whole thing and wrap it into a ball? Any ideas? I thought the idea of with a soft plank was that it was like a wider tube, and you could see it was kind of painted with all your colors. And then I think you wound it, didn't you, into a ball and then knit from it? I don't know. Somebody will have to tell me for sure what the what the whole plan is. I'm sure I could Google it, right? Let me see what it says. Okay, it says unravel to knit socks, shawls, or something magic. It is called Magic Keat Superwash Wool. It is a 75/25. Yeah. So that's that. Okay, I see Nikki's given me some instructions. She said some people knit straight from it, some make a ball, some skein it and wash it. Um, and yep, and should get the kinks out. So I guess really you could do any, any of the anything is possible then, right? I guess as long as it doesn't get tangled. Sally, I have seen people knit directly from the blank. Okay, Diane says, I work directly from the sock blank when you use it. Because, yeah, I wouldn't be so worried about the kinks because they'll wash out when you wash out. They'll even it, right? When you wash the sock and block it, that'll all come out. Okay, Susie says it depends on the person knitting. I tried a sock blank, but didn't like knitting straight from it. So unraveled and wound it and knit from that. Yeah. And I'm wondering if because this is so skinny that it wouldn't take much to just knit from this. I think I would be inclined to just knit from this and see how I liked it. Diane says, "Is it double or single?" Double, I think. Like it's a tube. Should I just take this off? No, it's taped. Start here. Okay, maybe I should not do that. Okay, we'll just look at it without, and then I drop it. Hold on. Let me retrieve. Don't I do this practically every Monday night? Drop something. So it is, yeah, it looks like it's been done, I don't know, on like it's a tube. Anyways. So, but I could still knit right from it, right? Well, that is if it won the vote. I haven't even told you guys which one won the vote. So either one would be gorgeous, right? Like the colors on here are just so fun. Nice and bright. I think that would make a lovely shawl. This would make a nice short. Yeah, like I cord. I cord. Diane says pull a strand. So this must be, see, something's already starting to unravel. I wonder if this is coming from the start here. Okay. Oh, looks like here. I don't know. Anyways. Oh, Diane says so single. So what does a double look like? Like it's two tubes and like one inside the other or something? I'm learning so much tonight. Hi, Joe. I don't think I have ever seen a sock blank in person. Well, you know what? I can say I have never ever bought, like, this is the only kind of sock blank I have ever had bought. I have never got them because I don't know. I just didn't. Two strands of same blank. Okay, okay. So two strands. So this is just one. So then is that so you can do two at a time? Like, so you could actually do one strand for one sock, one strand for sock two, and knit two socks. That sounds like it's getting complicated and a yarn management issue. Diane says yes. Okay. Susanna Lynn, I will off the following. Okay. A double has two strands together, and when you pull, oh, it matches. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Then you've got, yes, it's dyed two strands, and it's all the same, matchy matchy. Got it. Okay, I like that. I like that. Let's see. Oh, Nikki says you've never seen a sock blank like this one. It looks fun. It does look fun. It does look like a lot of fun. Okay. Do you guys want to know which one actually won? It was super, super close. I wasn't sure. I never know when I post colors like this, like that are orange and yellows and browns and greens, that kind of thing, because I always think those are more my colors and not the majority of colors that people like. And I always think this probably appeals to more people than this does. So I think I was thinking the voting would be like 3/4% purple, and then the odd one person would be like, oh yeah, do the gold and the pink. But it, it was even when I looked at the votes, I don't know, mid-morning, it was leaning one way, and I thought, "Oh, interesting, okay, there we go." And then when I looked at it just a little while ago, I was shocked, I'm like, "Ooh, this kind of changed over the day." And it was super, super close. The yarn that ended up winning for this week's yarn won with 52% of the votes. So it was way, way closer than I thought it was going to be. And the yarn that won, that is going to get cast on this week, is um, purple. Regia Purple, Regia hand-dyed effect. The purple shades of purple. Look at that. It's going to be gorgeous. And this will be a perfect skein to go into the gift box. I know Diane said no. I have to say, you guys, that if I was voting, I might have went with this one just because, well, the colors are fun and it might be fun to actually knit this. But anyways, Not this week. Not this week. This week it is going to be da 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 this lovely, lovely purple. So I'm excited to see how this all knits up. It's going to turn out gorgeous. Like, I mean, how can it not be gorgeous, right? So since we're talking about shawl knitting, let me show you week's this current shawl project, the current whip. This one's been a whip for a while. This is the wildflower yarn. Now, I was going to, let me see if I can do this really carefully. I'm going to try and weigh the ball. So I did my kind of usual 2 rows a day on this shawl, and I started out the week with this ball weighing 38 grams. Let me see if I can I've got my scale kind of haphazardly sitting here. Let's see. I'm hoping by some miraculous, you know, that there's a whole lot less than 38 grams on here. Oh, there's less. Okay, darn. Okay, I was really, 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 really somewhat hoping that maybe I would be under 30 grams. And, just going from in the threes, like in the 30s down to the 20s would be like a big psychological boost that I was like really, really making super good progress. Not. I still have 32, but that's not too bad, really, considering I didn't do a whole lot of knitting. I don't know. It was kind of one of those things where I know I didn't do like a huge amount of knitting, but I wanted a whole lot of yarn to disappear, which I like knew was really not very practical. So I did move my stitch marker. So I kind of this like really this is the same amount that I kind of do every week. There should be roughly one, two, three, four, five, yeah, 6, 7 ridges on here, which is what I'm going for, a ridge a day. But that was 6 grams of yarn. So, slow and steady. Still 32 grams, but the ball is getting a whole lot smaller. Isn't it so pretty? And it is getting bigger. It's getting wider, which is what I want. It's fingering weight yarn. It'll be the typical, it'll be an 80-20, 75-25. It's lichen and lace. The colorway is wildflower. And, it's getting a little bit of length on it. So this is what this is going to end up being. Just going to cast on, probably using a 4 millimeter needle. Do I have a needle gauge here? I do. I can tell you what it is. How long is the needle, Alyssa asks? Um, Good question. 29 inches, 34 inches, something like that. It's not, I don't think it's a 40-inch cable. I think it's a little shorter than that. What is this? Oh, you guys. Yeah, it must be a 4. It's going in the 4 1/4, but I don't know. There really isn't usually 4 1/4 is a very odd size, like a 4.25 millimeter. And the US size, a 4 and a 4 1/4 are both 6s. So this will be a 4. So 4 millimeter. Let me see. I don't have an actual tape measure, but can I kind of get you an idea? 5, 10, 15, 24. So this is about, yeah. So the knitting itself is about 24 inches wide, plus the needle tips there. So it's going to be nice when it's all done. Going to get a push the next couple of weeks to try and get this finished. I have to knit a little bit more than my scheduled 2 rows a day, but it's knitting up nice, isn't it? And I decided last night that I could give this up, not very willingly, but I could put this in the gift box because I think somebody would really, really like it. And, it is that time of year. I need to start making gift knits. So this will probably go in the gift box. And I think that's where this one here is destined as well. Hey, Sam. So that has been it for my shawl knitting. Just a few rows on that, but I told you I have a finish. Now, some of you may have seen this. Saturday, I showed this. This was my texture project for October for the Fiber Friends Challenge. And here it is, my herringbone cowl. I absolutely loved knitting this. This herringbone pattern was so fun. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I would definitely do more. So the yarn, this is what I had left over. Not very much. Shall I weigh it? Since I have my scale out here. Let me tell you how much I had left over. 27 grams left over of this super bulky yarn. What is it? Lime Brand, Woolies, Thick and Quick. I love this yarn for gift making for hats and now for cowls. I loved it. Colorway is grass. Love the color. This yarn is always so nice. So the content of this, I'm pretty sure there's some wool in this one. Yeah, it's an 80 acrylic, 20 wool. It's nice. It's so I knit this away. I cast on 24 stitches. I know Nikki asked for what I had done, and I will just write something up and I will post it. Oh my gosh, this could actually be, what are these? Like a hand warmer. What do they call those things? Think of Bridgerton. Bridgerton when they were walking, and they had their hands. Anyways, I cast on 24 stitches and I worked the pattern. And then I just did a whip stitch right along here. A muff. Yes, yes, a muff. That's right. You guys know. I'm so glad you guys know what I'm thinking. So I just whip stitched it up here. Doesn't look that bad for having a little bit of a visible seam, but I didn't want to have too much bulk in here because the yarn is so bulky that I didn't want to have that do a mattress. So um anyways, okay. Oh my gosh, I'm like dying of heat, but I will pull it over my head for you just so you know. This is exactly what I was going for. I was going for 8 inches this way, and I did it about 22 inches, 21 and a half, 22 inches around. I wanted something warm. I wanted something that was going to be snug so you could easy to pull over, but you know, you could pull it, you could scrunch it down, and the wind wasn't going to be. I don't like cowls that, you've got so much distance that you're kind of trying to fold it over to keep warm. I wanted it to be nice and snug. So, you could put this on when you're going out walking or walking the dog or, whatever you do, or just going out for a leisurely walk, and it's actually going to be warm. So I really, really like this. Now I'm thinking I just may do a whole bunch more for charity, for the gift box. Okay, it's hot. It is warm. It will do its job well. So I'm really, really, really happy with this. And it was quick. This, because it's so chunky, I used a 10 millimeter needle because herringbone is pretty snug. So you want to go up a needle size. And it knit super, super quick. Like truly, if I had worked on this a little more steady, you know, um, 2 or 3 nights of knitting, depending on a couple hours here and there, could have had this finished. I just spread it out over a longer time. What else did I work on? Oh, I worked on a couple of other things. Couple of other things that both are probably having, well, yeah, there's really no probably about it. They're both going to get ripped out, but I'm going to show you them. So Louise asked, how many grams did it take? So it was, oh, I will weigh it. You just want me to use my fancy scale now that I have it set up here, right? 140 grams is what it took. So does that make sense? 140 grams. And what was in the ball? I said I had 27 grams left over. This will end up being a stripy something, a hat, or oh, I just saw rain and snow. It was warm here today. No chance of snow for the next little while here. So this is a 170-gram ball, 6 ounces, and it had 97 meters in here, 106 yards. So out of 170 grams, it took 140. So a little bit left over. And herringbone probably uses more yarn than if you were to just do a garter stitch or something like that. But very, very fun. Okay, last week's project. I will show. I have a start. I have a working gauge swatch is what I have. Remember the orange that you voted for? You were voting for orange or black because it was Halloween week last Monday. You voted for the orange. This orange didn't have a ball band on it, unfortunately, because it is lovely. I don't know what it is. I'm wondering if it's Cascade 220, but it feels really, really nice. This little bit that I have got on here has knit up really, really nice. And I have decided two or three things. Two or three things. This pattern was the two at a time fingerless mitts. I think is exactly what it was called. Let's see if I can find it on here. It was a free pattern. Free pattern. Yes, it was. It was a free pattern because it's um. Well, it was just a free pattern. We'll just say that. And it is a 3x1 rib. Not that I don't want to. I didn't mean that. I was okay. Let me finish that. I will finish that thought. What I was going to say, and I don't mean this how it sounds. I was going to say it's a free pattern because it's basic, right? And that's and I but I don't I didn't want you to think that I was starting to say it was a free pattern and then not finish that and think that it was because something was wrong with the pattern. It's not. But um I don't really mean like okay. Anyways, there's nothing wrong with the pattern and even basic patterns should be paid for sometimes or free, you know. I'm getting my digging myself in a hole here, but you know what I mean, right? Um yes, it's like a recipe. And anyways, I'm all for buying patterns. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Is that yeah, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to say. And now I can't even find Ravelry on my phone. Anyways, the pattern so far is very well written. It's written in two different sizes. And why is everything anyways, let's see. I don't know if I can find it here. Everything on my phone is not here. Let me see if I can pull it up quick. Anyways, it is. There it is. Two at a time mitts. There it is. Okay. I'm struggling with tech stuff here. So there it is. See, aren't they? They're cute. They're purple. And I wasn't, and it was the thumb gusset that kind of intrigued me on these, just the way it's knit diagonally. I don't know. I thought that looked really cute. Anyways, I I don't know. I started it. So I went with the large size. So there's two sizes. There's a small and a large. And I cast on for the large because I thought the small would have been too small for me. Anyways, I think this is too big. So I'm going to take it out. and because it looks like ginormous on me. I was hoping as I was knitting a couple more rounds, ribbing typically does, you know, suck in a little bit, and so far it really hasn't, and I don't think it's going to as much as I was hoping to, but it's only a 3 by 1, so it's not like a 1 by 1 that has a lot of stretch to it, and, okay, so Nikki's anyway, so I think I'm just gonna go back and cast on the small size. The pattern or, like, the recipe is written for doing 2 at a time. I opted not to do 2 at a time because I don't know, then I was gonna have to weigh the yarn and divide it, and I wasn't sure I don't know. So anyways, I'm just like, "I'm not doing that." But it is written, and if you are doing 2 at a time for the first time, it does give a nice little, description on, like, how why you're casting on the numbers and on which is, like, mitten A, mitten B, and what the numbers and which one's which. So it was written out really well for that. So if you wanted to try something like 2 at a time for your first time, this might be a good one to give a try, but I just opted not to. I'm just gonna do 1 at a time. Even though I got a nice long cable, I could definitely do Magic Leap on here. It seems a little overkill for one little mitten, but it was what I could find. Anyways, I'm gonna take this out. I don't know, and I was going to say I wasn't entirely sure about the 3 by 1 rib. I really, really like it in the picture, but I was looking at the inside here, the reverse stockinette side. And I was like, "Ooh, I actually kinda like that texture." But I don't know. I was kind of thinking, would I do 2 by 2? But then I'm thinking now that I've been talking about it, I think I'm just gonna cast on the smaller size and just knit it the way the pattern is written and carry on. But so far so far, I am still going to finish these. I haven't, come up with any other reasons why I would not want to finish fingerless mitts. I'm actually starting to think that maybe I will quite enjoy wearing these at some point. So I am gonna definitely keep going on these now that I know that I need to do smaller size and carry on. Now the other thing that's gonna get pulled out, because I have a feeling I think I misread the pattern, I'm thinking. Remember my Tilda hat? Remember this one? After I got this book at the Woolstock Fleece Festival, and I just really, really liked this hat on the front cover. Well, I don't know. I think maybe I cast this on, I read the instructions, and then I did what I thought I had read. But now that I don't know. I'm gonna read the instructions again before I pull it out because it's all short rows. It's knit in 1 by 1 ribbing and it's all short rows. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I don't have enough height on this. So I'm thinking that I don't know if I missed, if I should have had a plain knit row in here. Anyways, this is what it's looking like. And I did, 'cause remember last week when I was doing this, I told you that I was watching this or I was knitting this while we were watching a scary Halloween movie in the dark. So I was putting on the stitch markers just so I could count every 4 stitches and wrap and turn. Well, I ended up, I don't know, I just kept going with it, which I really didn't need to because I just did regular wrap and turn. I had talked about switching out and doing either the Japanese short rows or the German short rows. And then in the end, I just did a regular good old wrap and turn. And I could see my wrap super easy on here. And it was no problem at all. But I don't know if this is the height it's supposed to be. Like, is this the height of my hat? I'm not entirely sure the construction of this hat, so I may keep going, but I'm also fully aware that I may have to pull this out and reevaluate and try again. But it is fun so far. I'm liking it. I'm liking the short rows. I'm liking doing one by one ribbing. Isn't even driving me bonkers. It is totally fine. Um, the colors are gorgeous. The sequins is just fun because I just want to pick it up and just do this and just so the sequins catch the light. And it just makes me smile every time you see the sequins glitter. So it is, this is like a, what is that? Like, I don't know. What's the word? Just something that makes you smile, right? You just play with it. Oh, Alice, the colors are amazing. They are, aren't they? Now the yarn. This was a mystery yarn. There was no ball band on here either. The yarn is 50-50. It's it is nice to knit with, and the sequins don't pose a problem, but it is splitty. And I find I do have to be really careful, or sometimes on the next round when I come back to knit the stitch or purl the stitch, I go to put the needle in the stitch and it's like, oh, it feels, and I can tell like I've split the stitch, and so then I have to drop it and try to fix it. So I'm just trying to watch a little more carefully. But I don't know. Maybe I'm on track. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going, I think, maybe a little bit more and see how it turns out. But it is kind of fun. This was one of those ones that I had said I would report back because what did we all say? Oh, the 10 stitch baby hat that I did. And I was kind of after I did that for what seemed like weeks and weeks and weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, this was like the tedious thing ever. I wondered if this would kind of be the same way, right? Like sometimes I think whether it's a sock heel, it's a hat that's knit and with a different construction, anything that's knit with a different construction, initially I'm like super excited. Like anything that's a little different, just shake things up and do something different can be fun. But then sometimes it's fun, and then other times I just shake my head and it's like, why try to reinvent the wheel when knitting a hat should just be in the round, bottom up, and done, right? It's one of those things that sometimes it's like, do you do it just because you can? Or like, just because you can, should you? You know? But so far, this hat is not falling in that category. It is actually really fun. And now that I'm thinking about it, I remember doing another hat. Interestingly enough, I can't remember the name of it, but it was the same time as when I bought this yarn. Um, and it was a hat that was a different construction, Tenfield. Tenfield? Tensfield? Tensfield. That name just popped in my head. That was a really fun hat to knit. It was, if I remember right, it was all garter stitch, and I did it in a self-striping, and it must have been short rows, but it was knit up and down, not short rows the way this hat's done. Anyways, it was a fun one. It was a fun one. So there are some of those ones that are outside of the box construction that are fun to try and knit. I will carry on with this and I will report back. It'll be like, yes, I was on the right track. I was worried for no reason, or I will rip it all out and start again and come back with a better fitting looking kind of hat. We will see. We will see. And lastly, I think the last project that I worked on this week was my Christmas socks. Oh, I am loving my yarn. So if you saw me in person over the weekend, I would have gone on at length about how much I love this sock yarn. So Jocelyn and I podcast Friday night, and that's where I cast on. I had my yarn wound and I cast on onto some DPNs when Jocelyn and I were chatting Friday night. Look at this. Isn't this lovely? Rose Hill yarn. That's somehow between Friday night when Jocelyn and I were knitting, I I misplaced the ball band, like like sitting here. Here, it is here. It cannot have gone any, like, I don't know. I got some yarn sitting on top of it, so I'll find it. Rose Hill, and this is vintage claws, and I absolutely love it. And I would have a whole lot more knitting done if I would stop admiring it. It does come with 2 mini skeins that I have not even wound because I just keep looking at them and knitting. But I don't know. I'm still not entirely sure. I might not even use these. It's DK. So I might use these. I might just start another little stash of DK minis to use for something else. And oh, that's right. Jocelyn was not feeling well Friday night. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe we'll talk for 30 or 40 minutes. We'll wrap it up early. So we'll let poor Jocelyn go rest her voice and go lay down, have a nap. Nope, we almost talked for 2 hours. We went over the time. We usually talk an hour and a half, and we went longer. Um, Jocelyn, so I hope you're feeling better now. DK great for scrappy house socks, so cozy. Yes, Alice, I am loving DK socks. So look at this is the start. I know it's not a lot, but I absolutely love this yarn. Love it, love it, love it. So that's how it's knitting up so far. Look at, isn't it gorgeous? I love it. Vintage claws. Super, super fun. Now, I like it so much that I grabbed a skein. So this came from the Thoughtful Artisan in Woodstock. And I was there again on Saturday teaching a Learn to Knit class, which I absolutely love. Is one of my favorite things is to teach a knitting class, like to make brand new knitters and to like welcome them into our community and just, give them some good foundational skills, and then they'll be off to the races making all the things, right? So while I was in Woodstock, I picked up a skein of yarn. I wasn't sure if I was going to show you guys this, but I guess I am now. So this is going to be our prize for the Wildflower Wool Holiday Sock Knit Along 2024. It took me a lot of time debating which yarn to get. And because all of the ones that I was looking at were yellow, orange, green. And I'm like, these are not everybody's colors. So I kind of I went with purples because thought this might appeal to more people. And even though purples isn't my go-to color, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And it is just a regular sock weight yarn. It's not DK. I didn't want to get a D case and then ship it off to somebody, and then you guys not have like a 3 millimeter or what. Everybody's got sock needles, right? So I just went with regular sock yarn. It is so lovely. It is called Storytime Tulip. It is a fingering weight. It's a 75/25 superwash merino Rose Hill yarns. So there is a a ball band, a tag. It's a tag that's attached that I'm not gonna lose. So, what do we got going on here? Anyways, there she is. So she is in Rose Hill Yarns, Calgary, I believe. Susanna, I think she's close to you, right? Anyways, so this is it. And it is just living here in a little Ziploc bag because I don't want Daisy to decide to sleep on it. So we're going to keep it cat hair free until it goes off to its new owner the beginning of next month. Oh, what is this? Anyway, okay. So oh yes, Susanna says Rose Hill Yarns. Yes, yes, yes. Where am I getting DK sock yarn? I am getting it at Thoughtful Artisan. So Rose Hill She dyes there's quite a few colors of DK sock yarn that the thoughtful artisan has in her shop. So that's I know because DK sock yarn is not something that everybody carries. So sometimes it is harder to find for sure, but I am absolutely loving it. It is it knits up so well, I was gonna say it knits up so quick. I've been doing this since Friday night, and this is I have a cuff, but I was also on grandma duty most like all day Sunday and half a Saturday. So I did not get a lot of knitting done this weekend. Anyways, that have I read any of your comments? Nope, have not, Sam. I've been talking. I have not been reading comments. I will go back and look at comments. So, anyways, this is it. So, sock knit along, everybody. So, if you have not heard about that, we have got a holiday sock knit along going on from November 1st to November 30th. So we're only a few days into November. So if you haven't cast on yet, it is still time to get a finished pair done. There is a Ravelry thread open in the Wildflower Wool Ravelry group. I guess that's what we're calling it, right? So you can go post your finishes. When you've got finishes, post your finishes there. All you need to do is you pick out any sock yarn that is a holiday color theme for you. So if that's blues, if it's reds, if it's greens, whites, you just pick something that is your holiday color. Knit a pair of socks, any adult pair of socks. It can be super patterned. I think I saw Jen was doing a stranded pair, which looked absolutely gorgeous. Or you just get pretty yarn, do a vanilla pair, and let all the sock yarn do all the work. Self-striping is good, whatever you've got. If it's in your stash, you can yarn shop, whatever you would like. And the idea is just to kind of kick off the start of the holiday season. I know some people, are waiting till November 12th, which is completely fine too. You can start watching Christmas movies and knitting your socks. That's what I did. I watched my first Christmas movie on Friday night, which the weather's so warm, it seems a little odd, but it is very exciting to be watching the Christmas movies again. Jude, you bought sock yarn on Saturday. Oh, when I went for blanket yarn. Doesn't that just tend to happen all the time? They will also be a gift. Can I pop in both groups? Gift and Christmas socks thread? You most certainly can. Absolutely. Can they be a shorty sock? Um, I suppose. Long as, yeah, I had only thought as long as they were an adult size. So sure, if they're a shorty sock, if that's what you wear, or yep, that's fine. Oh, Alyssa, you haven't watched your Halloween movies. Well, you know what? It's not that past Halloween. I would say still go ahead and watch them before you move into holiday season, right? Alyssa. Oh, it's Great Pumpkin. Oh, Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown and Over the Garden Wall. The Great Pumpkin. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that in a long time. Okay, so anyways, that's what I've been working on. So this week, I've got the new shawl to start, but this will be a no-brainer. I just need to find the needles and cast on. So there's no real thinking. I don't even have to wind this yarn. Just cast on and go. Um, my Christmas socks, I'm going to really start getting a lot of knitting done on those because I have another pair that I want to work on this month as well. So the whole idea, that's why I picked November to do the holiday sock knit along is so as we're getting geared up for holiday season, we're going to have a brand new pair of socks. So come December 1st, you will have a brand new pair of socks to wear throughout the month of December. My hat and my fingerless mitts, those are my two projects that I'm going to have to put a little thinking into, figure out where I need to get myself to be on tracks. But it's fingerless mitts and a hat. So once I know I'm on track with the hat, it will not take me long to get that done. And maybe both of those will end up in the gift basket as well. We'll wait and see. Anything I kind of feel for some reason I've done a little bit of spinning Nothing that I really want to show you though. I will show it to you at some point, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Most of my spinning that I have done in the past has been on a drop spindle, and I'm making myself use my wheel now. I'm very tempted to be like when the wheel's not going that well, to be like, forget it, and I'll just pick up my drop spindle. But I'm like, no, I just need to practice, practice, practice. Take my own advice to new knitters that it just takes time and miles and miles of knitting to find your rhythm, find your tension, and you just got to keep practicing, right? So I'm listening to my own words of advice as I'm spinning. I just have to get through this beginning part, and I will look back at all of this beautiful thick and thin yarn that I'm making. But anyways, so I definitely yeah, I've got a lot of spinning to do over the winter. So I've got a lot of fiber here that I can practice on to get all the kinks worked out before I actually start working on the fleece that I bought at Woolstock. And that's gonna be turned into a shawl. So I wanna make sure my spinning is more perfected before I start working on that. Jude says, "Everyone starts as a beginner. You're supposed to be bad at first." Well, I am. I am doing it very well. But you're exactly, exactly. Everybody we all start out you have to start somewhere, right? Oh, Sherry, you love your e-spinner. I know. Sometimes I'm wondering if that might just be what I need. One less thing for this uncoordinated spinner to worry about. That's right. And and I was so this 2 weekends ago, I was spinning with my friend Marg, and she was saying about the e-spinner. Um, Because sometimes I get kinda stuck and I think, I wanna do it the traditional way. Like, I want to sit at a wheel and I want to treadle, and it's just like that feeling connected, to, like, our great-great-grandmothers and just I think that's it. It's just feeling that connection to women in the past who have done this type of, spinning and knitting, and then it's almost like I think the e-spinner, you you lose some of that because 'cause you're not treadling. But then Mark was mentioning that she had heard that some women, older women who have trouble with their hips or maybe even knees, which could be me in a few years, can't treadle because of the pain in their hips and their knees. Where an e-spinner, you don't have to worry about that. And so that allows women who couldn't spin on a regular wheel, the e-spinner gets them spinning again, which is something that I really, really, really am happy about. So I don't know. Maybe an e-spinner would be maybe I need to let that go and just embrace the technology, right? So who knows? Maybe I'll try an e-spinner. Maybe that's the thing. But I'm not giving up. I mean, I haven't spun near enough to be able to say I'm giving up. I just need a lot more practice. And it's fun. I have no problem practicing. So at one point someday, I will show you some of my spinning, and, we will definitely have see the progression. Okay, it's like it's like driving is this with my knees and okay. Paula, "Oh, my first hand spun, I knit a cowl. The pattern was knit in the round, and when you get to a thick bit, you purl that's." Oh, that's kind of a great idea. Oh, so the 26-year-old. Yes, Alyssa. Um Oh, hey, Dawn. Oh, you guys, Dawn, you posted in the Fiber Friends group. I was going to mention this. There was a sock pattern that Dawn had posted. Go take a look in the Fiber Friends Facebook group. And let me see if I can find it here. Dawn, you said this was a friend of yours. Her name was Laura, who is a knitting designer, and she had a pattern for a sock heel that worked well with self striping yarn. Here it is. My friend Laura has a great heel for self-striping yarn. I'm going to use it for my socks for our sock cowl. It's free this week if you want to grab it. You scroll down the pattern page to see the code. So it's called the Diamond Heel Sock Pattern by Laura Salisbury, and it is free. So the pattern is for sale for $3 US. And it does say in here that that money goes towards suicide prevention, do you believe? Um, let's see, but there is a code on here. She has got lots of great information on here. So this and so it looks like it is a like a sock recipe again. I think the pattern was only one page. So it does say, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Purchase of this pattern supports suicide awareness and prevention, but please use the code to download it free if the cost is not accessible for you. So you can choose what works best in your budget if you would like to support that, or you can also grab it for free. Diamond heel sock. So there it is. So the heel looks interesting, and I'm like always up wanting to try all the heels. I say that, and then every single pair of socks I knit, I'm like in a rush to get them done, and I just go to heel flap and gusset. But maybe come January, maybe next year will be like the year of the sock, and I will do all of these fun heels just to get an idea of um what I like to knit, what I like to wear. Anyways, so I just wanted to mention that if you guys want to go, check that out. Thanks, Dawn, for sharing that and letting us all know about it. What else? I didn't do a very good job of reading the comments tonight, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to kind of scroll back through here. And oh, Nikki said, oh, what's this? The Twizzler sock I'm knitting in Christmas yarn is a free one, but it only has one size, 64 stitches around. I think it would not be hard to adjust either. So yeah, if you wanted to go 68 or 72. Okay. Oh, Sam hasn't knit anything for a month. I think Sam is getting all um geared up for her January challenge. It is like saving her wrists now. Donna, oh, you're doing the dainty sock and Christmas yarn. Well, fantastic. Yes. And yes, because not everybody, I know my daughter only wears shorties. Oh, what is this? Sherry said you could always make two colors, two at a time, both left, then two right-handed ones to have. Is this about my fingerless mitts? I could do that, couldn't I? Anyways, yeah, yeah, yeah. So this has been lots of fun, you guys. I'm really excited for this week's knitting. I'm going to have a little bit more knitting time than I did last week. I had a very, 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 very busy work week last week. And then having my granddaughter. So this week is going to feel like I'm on vacation, even though I'm going to work. So I'm hoping I'll have a little bit more time to knit, and which will hopefully mean more rows done on my sock. I think that's what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go pull up, see what's on the Hallmark Channel right now for Christmas movie and just sit and knit for a little bit and find some socks to cast on this purple and get it in the rotation and get a few more rows knit onto it. So thanks everybody for voting. This purple is going to be great. It's going to be a great one to go into the gift basket, and I'm excited to see these colors knit up. So um oh, Alice. Oh, what is this? So Alice says, I will be doing, what is this? A year of socks on your channel in 2025. Oh, Sherry says, excited for that. I love your podcast. That's wonderful. Well, see, I'm thinking maybe next year is going to be the year of sock knitting for me too to try all these things. Oh, hey, Deborah. I use my Hanson e-spinner most of the time because of my neuropathy and my feet prevents me from using my regular wheel. It's not cheating. That's right. You're still spinning. I know. I need to get over that, don't I, Deborah? That's right. No, and I love that. I love that technology can keep people spinning when the traditional method, it causes barriers for you to not be able to enjoy doing what you like to do, right? So that's a good thing that somebody has come up with the e-spinner. I like that. Yeah. I'm afraid. Well, I don't know if I'm afraid. I think I would like. Well, it's more the fact that I already have 3 wheels in my house. I need to learn to use what I have, not just go buy more. That is my bottom line. So that's why I'm gonna really try to um, get onto the wheel. Um, all right. Anyways, okay, I'm just reading the last of the comments. All right, I think we're gonna wrap up. It's 9 o'clock. So, everybody, have a fantastic week. I hope your Monday has been off to a great start, and the rest of the week, hopefully, will continue with lots of knitting and crafting time, and movie watching, and holiday prep time, all of the fun things. So, I will see you back here next Monday with some more updates. So, have a great week, and there will be another voting, of course, again on Monday. So, stay tuned and I will see you all Monday. Have a great week, everybody.